Welcome back. I originally wasn't going to say anything, but there's been a lot of negativity. Well, not really a lot. Some negativity surrounding World of Warcraft, the expansion news, etc. Some of it justified to a certain degree. I was asked from a business perspective to say what I think about the differences in the date for the flying patch and the back and forth players and devs have been making recently, which you can see on the screen as I discuss this. If you're unfamiliar with what happened, the devs originally said that the flying patch would be released within a couple of weeks of them making the decision that flying would be put back in the game. Then recently, a dev released that the patch would be out on September 1st. Then, later on that day, Lore, who is a community manager, wrote a lengthy post about how that date may not be firm and that there was a possibility that it might not come out on that day. And as you can see from what Lore was saying, it's caused a lot of confusion. If you've watched my previous videos, I mentioned other examples about how the team is not on the same page and how they are working inefficiently. They seem to be out of touch with their target audience. Or is it their vocal minority? The vocal minority is the smaller group of people making the most noise. It can seem as though these people are the majority, but they aren't. Businesses have what is called a target audience. Those are the people a company should focus on, the ones that, overall, like their product or service. Think of your own purchasing choices. Is there something that you used to love or really like that you no longer use? People change, circumstances change, and the things people like or will put up with changes over time. World of Warcraft has people in it that have been playing since the beta, like myself, and there are people who just heard about the game and started playing, and there's a mix of everything in between. This weekend, I started leveling a druid, and obviously, people flooding the news zones didn't get the message that the vocal minority have been preaching, that WoW is dying, because the zones were packed. I had to fight for mobs. And the spawn times on mobs, oh, don't get me started. Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. Sure, there is freedom of speech, but it comes with the repercussions of the reaction to what is said. There's a difference between constructive criticism, which companies really need to improve, and emotional whines. I try to give constructive criticism. Should Lore have made these posts? Well, what people don't realize is that Blizzard would have been criticized no matter what happened, because they missed the original estimated date of a couple of weeks. And that definitely would have been brought up. And obviously, something went wrong with this current issue for there to be September 1st, September 2nd. Maybe neither one of these is a firm date. If Lore hadn't said anything, they would have been criticized September 1st, along with the "why didn't you say anything" comments. They were damned if they did and damned if they didn't. The repercussion of this negativity is that Blizzard is now sort of got a stick up their ass, which is fear, to say anything. You can see it in Lore's responses and in the Twitter comments. The truth? Most players aren't game developers. It may hurt to hear it, but it's true. I'm not a game developer, but I've owned development communities and I learned a lot about the development process. I know what it's like to find a bug, fix it properly, and break 3 other things in the process. It happens a lot. I think the devs are working between multiple versions of their game engine as well. This is just my personal opinion, because you can tell performance issues and graphically and responsively how the different expansions react and perform. Some parts look better than others. The flying bug is in the current game now, because I was flying with a friend this weekend on a 2-person mount and we got thrown off the mount. The truth, if someone is unhappy with the game, consistently complaining about it, yet still playing, they are either 1, not as unhappy as they're whining about, and that in itself sends a message to Blizzard, or 2, you're not Blizzard's target audience anymore. That might hurt to think about it, but it's true. I've been honest about how I feel Blizzard has handled things. There is room for improvement, absolutely. I was ready to bounce if they didn't reverse flying. I'm not taking the gimme my money approach on this expansion. I didn't get into Draenor until February. I have restraint and control. Cut a bunch of stuff from the expansion if you want. I'm not the fool, which I proved with Eve, even though it was my main game for this channel. If you are complaining, unhappy, but talking about buying the expansion and still playing the game, the problem is you. You are choosing to put yourself in a position where you could get frustrated, irked, annoyed, etc., then get mad when it happens and blaming Blizzard for it. That person is exactly where they want to be, doing exactly what they want to do, and obviously aren't that unhappy because they don't do the one thing that would change the situation. Leave. Be smarter than that. Life is too short for that. If you can't create your own fun in the game, stop playing. Find a game you love and use that voice to share your love for that game. That is what sends a message to Blizzard. The truth is that you can't always be with the things and the people that you love, no matter how much you love them. But that doesn't mean that you can't find happiness elsewhere. I showed where Blizzard is hiring new people. One community person left. I wish this hiring process happened earlier, because there's not much time to get quality people in place and working at max level, as in trained properly, prior to the expansion coming out. Let's see how it goes. In the meantime, I'm going to continue enjoying the game, but let me be clear. There is definitely room for improvement, and that is what I want to use my voice for. Perhaps a calm, rational voice can help fix things. Now, what I don't want to see and have zero tolerance for is a repeat of what happened in Draenor happening in Legion. As I said before, I hope that they have made a firm list of what is to be in the expansion, make it feature complete before they start talking. This "it's a work in process" doesn't fly to me. When you get on a stage and you announce A, B, C, D, E is going to be in the expansion and then start taking money for it, that's not a work in progress. That's you're selling a product and you're borderlining fraud at that point. So I want to make it clear that I don't condone that. Not at all. The way that I view it is that I have a business relationship as a player with Blizzard. They're supposed to provide a product and service that I want, and in return, they are financially compensated for that. When they don't live up to what I feel is the expectation of the agreement that we had, then I'll leave. And that's what I suggest other people do, instead of getting all upset, because in the end, throwing out all that negativity is just causing it to be thrown back at you in the product or service that you're getting. When Blizzard employees aren't happy working on the game, it shows, and you're seeing it in Draenor. If you don't want this to repeat in Legion, there's a way to voice dissatisfaction without being a drama queen about it. So, let me know. Ever have a person in your life that nags all the time and doesn't take the hint? That you wish you could ziplock or duct tape their mouth shut because you know no matter what you do, unless you're perfect, they'll never be pleased? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. A link is in the description box below. And I will see you guys in the next one.